So as you can see here, change of plan, change of heart. Set out with this build originally to do a 3-rotor, which is a 20V single turbo setup. We've had a lot of development with that engine in the RX-8 and figured it would be the best weight displacement for this package. But with the recent event we went to with Goodwood, really changed my mind on the impact the 4-rotor has in the RADBUL RX-7. It's a very iconic motor and we have more development in this engine than any of the other packages we have. Okay, as you can see, he's mounted the dummy block in here with the recessed firewall, meaning this engine can go so far back that it actually sits further back than the 20B does in the RX-8. So the weight displacement's going to be good, and then to bring the power, because we wanted 1,000 horsepower, the 20B, with this 4-rotor, we're going to chuck 2 turbos on the side for you guys, and then we're going to be boasting 1,200 horsepower on low boost, which is going to be quite exciting, not only for myself to drive, but for TBR to try and get some traction in this thing. So the level of the pro drifting now is so harsh on the gear. You know, we've been using gearboxes like they're a consumable. It's really disheartening to lose a championship because of a broken part, whether it's a gearbox or a diff or an engine failure. So for us, it's about building not only the most crazy package, but it also has to be the most reliable package on the track. As a team, we're privileged now to be able to have the strongest gearboxes on the market. So with Hollinger, their philosophy is to design a gearbox as an heirloom rather than a consumable. So a big advantage for us with a 6-speed sequential gearbox is that we're able to change every gear. Each gear is slid onto the shaft, and which is super crucial for us with the rotor engine, which is hard for us to produce torque. Make sure that every gear is super close to be able to keep the thing spooled in its power band. All right, these bad boys, these are our axles. These literally just showed up in the shop this morning. These came from Charlotte, North Carolina, the drive shaft shop. This is all aerospace axle shafts. We have a much bigger spline, which will go into a hub, which they've also supplied. They have a much longer through bolt. And then you can see this here, which will connect to our Winter's quick change diff, which is a Porsche CV. Okay, so what we're looking at here, this is our rear end. This is the diff, which has been shipped over here and assembled by ASD Autosport Dynamics. And one of the main advantages of this quick change rear end is not only its strength, but with the quick change ratios, the guys can change the gear ratios as fast as the guys can change the tyres on this car. So for the different tracks, whether it's like the car park style tracks, which are a lot slower, to tracks where we're well over 200 kilometers an hour, it's a simple couple of minutes to be able to find the best ratio for us. So another area that's very important when it comes to building a competitive drift car is the cooling system. So as a team, we have 100% confidence to be able to push the absolute extremes out of our engines and keep everything cool with this new PWR product. As you can see, this is our intercooler up the front here, which has all been custom fab. These guys make all their product in-house, and it's all built to F1 technology. The biggest thing with radiator is airflow. So PWR have custom designed an undertake shield with these big fans, which will produce 3000 CFM. Not only the fans, but then you need to duct the flow. With the drifting, the cars are always sideways, so it's crucial for us to get side flow, and from here we'll fabricate an intake off the top to be able to flow the air through the radiator as much as possible when it's at its extreme angles. This is a F1 spec water-cooled oil cooler, so this is new for us. We usually run the typical airflow similar to the radiator, which will be mounted up the front, which we've gone through countless numbers of those through clipping points. This setup is 30% more efficient than your typical air-cooled oil coolers. Okay, so that's it for the driveline and cooling side of things. So I'm super excited about the 4-rotor twin turbo setup. This thing's gonna be badass, and it's only months away before it hits the track.